Alright, welcome back to Pac-Manufactured, a series all about Pac-Man clones. In this episode we're taking a look at Pac-Man 37, developed by Bauske and released for the PC in 2024. Well, I assume 2024, because there's also a mode called CAX 2019 Challenge, so it may well date back to 2019 as well, but I can't seem to see a firm release date other than 2024 from the developer. So this is 3 remakes of classic Pac-Man titles. We've got the original Pac-Man, Ms. Pac-Man, and Junior Pac-Man. You can play them in their original modes with 3 different graphics settings, and you can change the speed of Pac-Man as well, so he moves fast as well. Or you can go into custom mode for each of the games and tweak them to your heart's content. You can add any character from each 3 games as the main playable character. You can have different maze layouts from all the different types, including prototypes and mods and hacks and things. Yeah, you can really tweak this to however you want to play it. There's a lot of game in here, and well, obviously in the fact that there are 3 games included as standard, but that you can really fine-tune how you want to play them as well. So there's a lot to dive into here if you want to just experience Pac-Man in different ways. The real amazing feature of this is the random mode, though, which basically jumbles all 3 games up, all different maze designs, all different gimmicks and power-ups, and every available feature from all of these games mashed up into one. As you clear a maze, it jumps to a different maze from a different game with a different playable character, with different gimmicks, with different power-ups. It's just constantly throwing new things at you all the time, and it makes what a really intense and exciting experience. It's just so well done. And yeah, it can be really hectic if you've got things set to fast and you've got the 5th ghost added as well as the plus mechanics too. You can just go ham with this. I am so impressed at how well this has been achieved. It's not just 3 remakes of classic Pac-Man games. It's a complete melding of all of them, throwing them all into this crazy pot where you can just have all these mechanics from all these different games running concurrently, and it's just so well done. The actual remakes themselves are mechanically sound. They feel exactly like the game should. The AI is spot on to the original games. I love that you can tweak the graphical settings so that you can have the classic low resolution sprites, or you can have more modern pixel art sprites, or you can have these sort of forced perspective Pac-Mania style looking sprites as well, but with, you know, more animations, more detail, more resolution to them. Yeah, they've just really thought about what can we add to this to make this experience not only play as legit as you remember, but also just tweak it in ways so that you can just have a lot more fun with all these different mechanics but blended into one. Oh, it just makes for one of the most exciting Pac-Man clones I think I've ever played. Again, doing it a disservice by calling it a clone, because these are really remakes, and the idea of blending them all together so that you can have this really intense sequence of mazes that keep evolving and keep changing and keep adding new ideas to them just makes for one of the most exciting Pac-Man games I think I've ever played. Highly recommended. I will leave a link in the video description if you want to go and download this one. It's only playable on PC, but it's such a small little game that I would highly recommend you give it a go, especially if you like Pac-Man. Yeah, there's just so much fun to be had with this, and just mucking around with all the little custom settings for each game, or just going into random and absolutely blitzing through one of the most intense setups of constantly changing Pac-Man games you can experience. It's such a good time. There is also that CAX 2019 challenge, which is one giant custom maze which you only have 1 life for. You can't tweak the settings on that one. You basically have to play with default Pac-Man settings, but you can at least change the graphical option. And yeah, it's a real challenge. It is a real challenge. It's a very involved maze. There are some dead ends in there, which I'm not a big fan of. I always feel like you should have an exit from any maze in a Pac-Man game, but you know, it's a minor complaint in the grand scheme of things. It's an additional challenge mode where you have a single life and you have to play this really challenging maze with 5 ghosts as well. Yeah, a real good time. Pac-Man 37 is highly recommended. I think it's one of the most impressive homebrew Pac-Man games that I've played in recent years. I cannot sing its praises enough. The only minor complaint I have with it is the fact that the CAX 2019 challenge has some dead ends. I mean, that's pretty high praise, I think, in the grand scheme of things. Obviously, certain games will be I prefer the stuff where it's a locked screen maze, where you don't have to scroll around, because I don't like the idea of not being able to see the ghosts at all times and being able to strategize where I'm going throughout the maze. So things like Junior Pac-Man and the CEX 2019 Challenge do introduce scrolling as well, which means, you know, it's a little bit more difficult to play. But if you're up for the challenge and you don't mind the scrolling so much, then it's certainly worth giving a go. I just prefer the more classic locked screen maze of the original Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man. But that's just me, you know, that's just one of those things. Like, you can completely ignore that if you don't want it and get involved with it, because there's all these features and options that you can muck around with, and I would highly recommend that you do, because it creates one of the most exciting and interesting Pac-Man clones I think I've ever played.